Welcome back. In this unit, we'll be focusing on Likert scale. Basically, there are different type of measurements and statistical techniques that are available. The term measurement means assigning numbers or some other symbols to the characteristics of certain objects. When numbers are used, the researcher must have a rule for assigning number to an observation in a way that provides an accurate description. We do not measure the object but some characteristics of it. Therefore, in research, people are not measured. What is measured only are their perceptions, attitudes, or any other relevant characteristics. So, there are two reasons for which numbers are usually assigned. First of all, numbers permit statistical analysis, and secondly, they facilitate the communication of measurements of scales. Scaling is an extension unit of measurement. Scaling involves creating a continuum on which measurements on objects are located. So, we'll be covering up one of the major measurement scale, that is Likert scale. In this, we'll be taking up the Likert scale meaning, its measurement, steps to develop a Likert scale. Then we'll go on review quality instrument, that is RQI, and what are the elements or questions for RQI. In research, various scaling techniques are available. They can be Likert scale, there can be graphic rating scale, there can be semantic differential scale, there can be staple scale, then there can be comparative scales. But in this lesson, we'll be focusing on Likert scale only. So, various kinds of rating scales have been developed to measure the attitudes directly. That is, the person knows their attitude is being studied. For measuring the attitude, Likert scale is widely used, which was given by Likert in 1932. So, if we go on a little bit on the attitude, then attitude is viewed as an enduring disposition to respond consistently in a given manner to various aspects of the world, including persons, events, and objects. A company is able to sell its products or services when its customers have a favorable attitude towards its product or services. However, in the reverse scenario, the company will not be able to sustain itself for long. However, unfortunately, attitude cannot be measured directly. So, in order to measure an attitude, various scales are developed. And as we said, Likert scale is the most popular measurement scale which is being used to measure the attitude. In its final form, Likert scale is a 5 or 7-point scale which is used to allow the individual to express how much they agree or disagree with a particular statement. Likert scale is a multiple item agree disagree 5 or 7-point scale. The respondents are given a certain number of items or statements on which they are asked to express their agreement or disagreement. This is also called as summated scale because the scores on individual items can be added together to produce a total score for the respondent. However, an assumption of Likert scale is that each of the items or statements measures some aspect of a single common factor, otherwise the scores on the items cannot legitimately be summed up. In a typical research study, there are generally 25 to 30 items on a Likert scale. So, in its final form, Likert scale is a 5 or 7-point scale that is used to allow the individual to express how much they agree or disagree with a particular statement. So, this is how the Likert scale looks like. Suppose you are putting up certain statement in your questionnaire Then in that statement, you can write whether you strongly disagree with that statement, disagree with that statement, it's undecided for you, you agree for that statement, and you strongly agree with that statement. So, the Likert scale assumes that the strength or intensity of an attitude is linear. That is, on a continuum forum, you go from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And this makes the assumption that attitudes can be measured. In addition to these measuring statements of agreement, Likert scale can measure other variations such as frequency, quality, importance, and likelihood, etc. So, if you're going with frequency, say how often you visit the store, then it can be always, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Then this is again a Likert scale. And if you're going for quality opportunities or quality concerns, then you can write whether this quality is excellent, good, fair, poor, very poor. Then this is also a 5-point scale and is measured in terms of Likert scale. One thing to take into consideration is that Likert scale is a well established scale in research methodology. So it is widely used and there is no question on the reliability of Likert scale in general research papers. But definitely one can construct their own scale and then establish its reliability and then go for the analysis in the questionnaire. Let's take on the steps to develop a Likert scale. So it's very simple. First, we define the focus, that is what we are trying to measure. Your topic should be one dimensional. For example, it can be customer service or this website, whether you rate this website as very good, good, etc. Then generate the Likert scale items. The items should be able to be rated on some kind of scale. For example, polite or rude could be rated as very polite, polite, not polite, or very impolite. Politeness can also be rated on the scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not polite and 10 is being extremely polite. Then rate the Likert scale items. That is, if you want to be sure that your focus is good, so pick a team of people to go through the items in step 2 and rate them as favorable, neutral, unfavorable to your focus. Weed out the items that are mostly seen as unfavorable and then finally administer your Likert scale test. So if we go with the hypothesis test on the Likert scale, then it is easier to tailor the questions in the development stage rather than to collect data and then make a decision about the analysis in the later phase. So what analysis you take up depends on the form of questionnaire. So as far as the hypothesis test on Likert scales is considered, there is some disagreement in the education and research about whether you should run parametric test or non-parametric tests. But many run Mann-Whitney test on Likert scale data. Then you can even run sign test. Mann-Whitney test is run for comparison of two Likert data sources. So if we want to compare the Likert scale of one attribute, then we may use sign test like this. So suppose this is a question that pertains to the rating on some statement, like rate your preference from strongly disagree to strongly agree. 1 represents strongly disagree and 5 represents strongly agree to the statement, and the data that is obtained from filling up the questionnaires by the respondents is as follows. Then if we want to analyze the hypothesis testing for this, that whether is towards neutrality, then we can take up sign test for that. In that, our hypothesis will be whether the median is 3 or not. And then how to proceed on with this? We are counting the number of zeros, number of plus indicates those responses which are above 3. That is those who are going with agree and strongly agree statement. And then we are taking up the negatives. And then using binomial distribution, we can compute the p-value. And if this p-value is greater than the level of significance chosen, then we can say that we are accepting or we are not rejecting the null hypothesis, which states that the median value of the perception towards this attitude is 3. In the same way, we can conduct comparison of opinions or comparison of perceptions while taking up multiple statements, and that comparison can be computed using Mann-Whitney non-parametric test. So this is how we analyze and we take up the Likert scale measurement and its analysis. So now moving on to RQI. Basically, research on the value of peer review is limited by the lack of a validated instrument to measure the quality of reviews. The aim of RQI is basically to take up a reliable and valid scale that could be used in studies for peer review. So RQI assesses the extent to which a reviewer has commented on 5 aspects of a manuscript. That is, it is used to evaluate the quality of reviews on the scale of 1 to 5. It is an instrument which assists editors in their decision making and also assist authors in improving their paper. Then RQI does have some limitations. In particular, although it can measure the quality of comments the reviewer has made, but it cannot assess the accuracy of those comments. Then it can be used definitely by either editors or authors to evaluate the quality of different aspects of a peer reviewer's report, usually on a Likert scale of 1 to 5. So 1 indicate not at all and 5 indicate discussed extensively. So these are some questions that are related to RQI. Question number 1, did the reviewer discuss the importance of each question? We can rate this on the scale of not at all to discussed extensively. Did the reviewer discuss the originality of the paper? Again, we can rate it from not at all to discussed extensively with references 1 to 5. Did the reviewer clearly identify the strengths and weakness of the method with respect to study design, data collection and data analysis? 1 indicating not at all and 5 indicating comprehensive. Then next question, did the reviewer make specific useful comments on the writing, organization, tables and figures of the manuscripts? 1 not at all and 5 extensive. Were the reviewer's comment constructive? 1 not at all, 5 very constructive. Did the reviewer supply appropriate evidence using examples from paper to substantiate their comments? In this again we can have Likert scale from 1 to 5. 1 being no comment substantiated, 3 being some comment substantiated, and 5 all comments substantiated. Then, did the reviewer comment on the author's interpretation of results? 1 being not at all and 5 being discussed extensively. So we can have such kind of Likert scale or Likert scale RQI for analyzing the reviewer comments, and then it can be judged as per the comments or as per the data obtained on the Likert scale. So with this we end up the unit on Likert scale. Wish you all a happy learning.